Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator, First Descendant, and today, what I have to say is that they have dropped Hotfix 1.2.13, majorly controversial, I get it, okay, I get it, it is very, very wild, but, you know, we have to take the good with the bad, and there's a lot of good in this patch, alright, so let's go through it together, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So we'll be doing a lot of the testing for the Descendants after this, so keep an eye on the streams. But basically, for Hotfix 1.2.13, there was a major balancing of Descendants. All right, I'm going to go through all of them, and then we'll talk about it a bit at the end. And I'll give you my thoughts as we go through. So Lepic has seen his grenade throw have a reduction in MP cost and a major boost to its skill power multiplier. Overclock has seen a MP cost adjustment downward, and Overkill's cooldown is now 70 seconds at all levels. Previously, it had an increase in cooldown, which was kind of strange, but okay, now it's 70 seconds across all levels, excuse me. Anyway, for his skill module adjustments, increased efficiency now has an increased fire rate of 60%, and the damage of the skill has gone from the previous 370 all the way up to 741, and we'll have to try that out in future. All right, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but we can try it out. Okay, next is Jayber. Jayber has seen his assault turret increased in terms of hit points, MP, skill power, shield, all that. And I believe these are based on his stats. And his reactivate has gone from 2011% skill power modifier to 4022, doubling it effectively. His immediate purge code Transcendent module has seen explosion damage increase from 1000 to 4300 and electric AoE damage from 262% all the way up to 524, so doubled. Okay, Blair. Now all of these adjustments are numerical. They're all basically numerical adjustments, so take note that this will be covered later on as well in the dev comment. But essentially, they're not looking to change too much. They're mostly just tweaking the numbers and seeing how characters perform. Blair has seen a burn damage increase for all modules and skills from 40.45 doubled up to 80.9. Flame zone damage doubled. Burn taste has been like tripled, which is pretty nice. Deadly cuisine has been quadrupled. So that's good for the giant fireball, small fireball, flame zone, whatever, all of it's quadrupled. So there you go. This is the base deadly cuisine, by the way. Now you've got incendiary bomb. All right, for his flame zone damage has been increased for that particular skill, which is the same as this one. All right, it's not getting a separate increase because as far as I remember, incendiary bomb lets him throw his first skill. Okay, this truly deadly cuisine received a double up in the skill power modifier. Backdraft has seen an increase in terms of the flame zone damage. All right, for the blaze up. Classic chef for the blaze up, there's a flame zone damage increase. And for deadly cuisine, using classic chef, the giant fireballs damage and flame zone damage all increased as per before. All right, same here. Okay, Luna has seen only a change to the noise surge. Noise surge has pretty much been doubled on all her skill power modifiers, except for disturbing noise, which is slightly under doubled. For Esiemo, his base skill explosion damage for adventitious habit has been increased from 1600 to 2000. Time bomb has actually had an increase in cooldown, a decrease in MP cost, and an increase in radius. So this is the one where they tweak the numbers a bit more than others. Explosion damage has pretty much doubled, so although there's a slightly higher cooldown, explosion damage has doubled. Blast has a reduction in cooldown. Damage increase per bomb has been drastically upped from 35% up to 90%. And skill power increases. Previously, you could increase your skill power 8 times. Now you can increase your skill power 4 times. Guided landmine. Okay. The cooldown on this has also been increased. Explosion damage radius has been increased. And the exploration damage for the guided landmine is more than doubled. So that's pretty awesome. RK explosion defense decrease was previously 30%. Now it's 10%. And the explosion damage has practically been doubled. So that's really, really awesome as well. Okay. For his Transcendent modules, Cluster Bomb has seen a cooldown decrease. All right, the damage per bomb has been increased. Skill power increase is up to 4 times, same as the base skill. Explosion damage at level 4 increased, and the burn damage also increased. Explosive propaganda cooldown decreased, explosion damage increased. Creative blast cooldown decreased, damage per bomb skill power increase. Skill power increases 4 times. And the creative explosion defense decrease, explosion damage has been adjusted, and the damage per bomb has gone up by 4.4% up to 25.5%. So those of you who like Esiemo might like some of these changes. Enzo's explosive drone has seen a reduction in the cooldown per stack, slight reduction in MP cost, and pretty much a doubling of the explosion damage. In fact, more than double. Reinforced frontline has seen the damage value based on its max HP slightly increase. Duration, the base duration has also been increased. Concentrated fires, explosive drone, the stack cooldown has been decreased, the cooldown has been decreased, MP cost has been decreased, explosion damage has been increased, and concentrated fire, I believe that's for the skill itself. The damage has been increased, and the explosion damage has also been increased quite drastically, so this might make Enzo a little bit better. Okay, but the main thing I think would be reinforced frontline. We have to see if this makes his reinforced frontline actually viable, because the change is a very, very small one. So we'll have to see how that works out. Ines. Okay, now this is the major one, and this is where I'll be giving some of my thoughts. Ines has seen a major gutting of all her abilities. Chain Lightning's cooldown has been increased. The stack cooldown for Time of the Hunting Hounds increased. Base damage pretty much slashed. For Time of the Hunting Hounds, it's gone from a 255% modifier all the way down to a 152% modifier. Additional damage to enemies inflicted with Conductor has dropped from 63.9% all the way down to 38%. Delay between casts, I believe, is half a second now. Yeah. Oh, the only thing that has gone up is Lightning Conductor. They've doubled the cooldown, reduced the MP cost, but the base damage has gone from 400% to 763%. And the additional damage to enemies inflicted with Conductor has also gone up to 190%, so that you're supposed to be using Lightning Conductor a bit more now. And the number of targets has increased from 3 to 7. So I guess this is trying to compensate for some of the power loss. But the Snare Hunter, or the Snare Trap, has gone from 30 seconds up to 90 seconds, which is horrifying. And the projectile damage has been reduced, continuous damage reduced, coils damage reduced, continuous damage interval increased, so that it takes longer for it to tick damage. Additional damage to enemies inflicted with Conductor has also been decreased. Basically, Ines got gutted. Now, I just want to say this. We have tested her on stream, and what I will say is that although her 400% runs are not drastically affected, you are going to see a major shift in Void Erosion Purge. Previously, stage 27, easy peasy, no need to think. Now it's going to be a lot harder, because there's another nerf for Ines whereby they've taken away her skill's ability to go through walls. And this means that as soon as there's terrain between you and the enemy character, even if it's just a pixel from a box, the skill disappears. So this could be quite problematic. It does take more skill to play Ines now. You have to sort of choose the high ground, but you also have to expose yourself to a lot of enemy fire in order to do what she does before. So while 400% might be fine, I think she's going to suffer a lot in Void Erosion Purge. Either way, we'll figure out an alternative for you guys as soon as we can, but yes, this is one of the problems. All right, Keelan. Keelan received pretty much an across-the-board buff for all of his skills, like Void Corrosion, Onslaught, Septic Gust. We got some nice damage increases, but what I do have to say is that his skill range is still the same as before, so although you'd be able to kill enemies a bit harder, your efficiency in killing enemies, especially if they're scattered around the room, will still not be that great. That being said, I am very happy with the increases, because honest to God, they are a godsend. I like the fact that he can dish out more damage now. I'm eager to try out Focus on Prey, Mobile Strike, and all that for his bossing side, but we'll do that at a later time. Base build should still be fine, and you don't really need any Transcendent module. For Ajax, they have improved his Event Horizon to improve his firearm explosive attack, depending on the enhancement level. And for Void Walk, they have reduced the MP cost, increased the base damage that it deals. Stun duration also increased. Expulsion, reduced MP cost, huge increase to base damage. So mobbing Ajax might actually be a thing, just an FYI. His various skills also have had their damages increased, which is very nice to see. I kind of like that. Enhanced sub attack. Yeah, I don't need to worry about that. Void charges expulsion damage is slightly higher. Seems that way. Matrix recomputation also changed, adjusted. Well, I don't know much about Ajax, but all I can say is that everything has pretty much been increased. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs and what he can do. All right, Kyle. Kyle has also seen across the board an increase in his values. Now, the superconductivity thrusters went from 26,900% modifier up to 40,000, and with a major increase to magnetic force, proportional additional damage as well. So I kind of want to see if Headbutt Kyle is going to work out. All right, I'm very, very excited to see how that'll work. If it does work out well, it's going to be pretty funny. But yes, I am kind of looking forward to this. Yeah, I don't think there's anything special or anything else to interpret here. The main thing is just Headbutt Kyle might be a thing. But the bombing Kyle has also seen an increase in his damage, although I don't think as much. But I'm kind of curious to see how it all functions. Okay, Bunny has seen a boost to her maximum power skill, as well as her Thrill Bomb, which is her first skill. So first skill and fourth skill have been buffed. Electric Condense, which is one of her Transcendent modules, has seen a major increase. High Voltage has seen a major increase as well, which might actually make her a decent early bosser, which is awesome. And yeah, pretty much everything has seen an increase. But for Superconductor, please take note that this is a Thrill Bomb increase. And oh yeah, sorry, for High Voltage, yeah, it's also a Thrill Bomb increase. So she might not be an early bosser, but you can still use Thrill Bomb for a bit of extra burst damage. Sorry, I saw this, got excited, and I forgot that for High Voltage, it was for Thrill Bomb. Ah, rough. I thought High Voltage damage went up to this. I was like, she could be a viable early bosser now. Nope, unfortunately not. Okay, that's about it. But the Electric Charge change and the Electric Condense change are actually looking pretty good. I'll have to see if either one of them might improve her farming capabilities, especially Electric Charge and Electric Condense. Now, right now I'm using Electric Condense. It's more for like an anti-boss measure. But I don't know if Electric Charge would be comparable and whether or not it can compete, because base damage increase on double jump, being able to jump down and actually hit the floor and, you know, smack somebody with that, I don't know. Might make a bit more sense than Electric Condense, but we'll see. We'll see. Get it? Much more sense than Electric Condense. Okay, for Gley, what they've done is that they've changed the way that her Thirst passive works. Instead of only when Gley defeating an enemy will it generate a life sphere, they have made it so that when either you or your ally defeat an enemy, so if a bunny runs through, a bunny could spawn 10 life spheres for you straight away. The only downside is that there's now a limit of 10 on the number of life spheres that can be generated. So in situations where a lot of enemies are present, if life spheres keep generating, then Gley's not going to get to utilize a lot of them. All right, so do be aware of that. They've also increased the damage of explosive life, allowing her to turn into what is effectively a necromancer, which is pretty cool. The base damage and the damage during frenzy have both been increased specifically for explosive life, and we already know that that helps generate more life spheres, so it could be pretty cool to see that. All right, she can literally turn into a corpse explosion necromancer now. Although it still probably will not be as fast as several other characters, it is still pretty interesting. Okay, content improvements. First and foremost, you have to read this. They've fixed Ines's Chain Lightning and Floating Lightning. Fixed in quotation marks. They basically, Chain Lightning and Floating Lightning are removed if they hit terrain. Okay, they've also fixed an issue where the tooltip for Bunny's Electric Condense skill module did not reflect the skill power modifier increase in damage. Okay, they've improved the sorting order of subcategories in the shop, corrected the term event skin. Okay, there's a new login event for Blair. All you have to do is log in 14 days in a row. Okay, all the stuff that you'll get is right here. But the most important thing is one photon imprinter on day 14. So log in for 14 days, you get a photon imprinter. You can use this to transfer normal Blair into ultimate Blair when he drops. Okay. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where 2 or more descendants interacting with an object at the same time caused the character with the slowest timing. Okay, so this issue was fixed before, but they brought it up again. There was also a bug where weapon readjustment could produce values slightly outside of the weapon's option range. So like instead of a 12.2% max, you could get 12.4 or something like that, whatever. But they fixed it, so nobody can exploit this anymore, thankfully. Some UI changes. I think none of these are important. Okay, it's just skin fixes mostly. Yeah, not anything major. Okay. Here's the director's comment, and I've actually, like, if you want to read it yourself on the website, you can, but they've done it in a really weird way where it's just like this text box. So I actually copied and pasted it to Notepad so I could read it for you guys easier. Greetings, Descendants. This is the director of First Descendant, Minseok Joo. The balance between Descendants has been an important topic of discussion in the community. Recently, successive releases of new overpowered Descendants such as Ines and Serena have caused some content being cleared way more easily than intended. We're taking this trend seriously, and this rebalance is our first step toward addressing the problem. This rebalance focused on strengthening relatively underperforming Descendants using as a basis the performance of Viessa, Valby, and Haley, who are the current baseline. However, we recognize that for some Descendants, simply tweaking some numbers are not enough to bring out the best in them. We believe that the mechanics of certain skills may need to be reworked to achieve more meaningful performance improvements. But we had to adjust multiple Descendants simultaneously, and we apologize for focusing on the numerical balancing at this time. We understand that you may find some changes inadequate because of that, but we will continue to review and implement improvements to skill structure and design. Conversely, we determined that some of the Descendants who performed significantly exceeded the baseline and could impact content structure. That some of the Descendants whose performance significantly exceeded the baseline and could impact content structure needed adjustments. Ines is a prime example of this, and her performance is significantly above the baseline. So we made some adjustments in this patch. Freyna's performance is also above the baseline, but not so much that it breaks the flow of content, so we've decided to put adjustments to Freyna on hold. Serena is a firearm-based dealer who we believe is currently significantly exceeding the baseline, but since she hasn't been released for long, we'd like to see more data before deciding on how to respond. We don't believe we can balance all Descendants perfectly with a single patch. We'll continue to closely analyze post-patch data and make further adjustments to Descendants that fall short of the baseline or are overperforming based on community feedback, which is the worst thing that they can do because it just depends on who's louder in the community, and I don't want that. We'll also fine-tune Serena's performance along the way. We're keenly aware that we've been releasing new Descendants in an overpowered state. While the dev team does hope for new Descendants to be in the spotlight, we don't want them to be released overpowered to the point of breaking down the content structure. We're looking internally at the reasons for this recurring issue, and we're working to improve our development process so that we can deliver more stable and balanced content in the future. We're deeply grateful to all players for their continued heartfelt feedback on the First Descendant. We consider this rebalance a step toward further refining the balance, and we'll continue to make adjustments and improvements based on play data and do our best to provide a better gaming experience. Additionally, in response to community feedback, we are currently working on improving Serena's wings so that they're no longer visible when she equips a common skin. The wings will only be displayed when she uses her skills, and this change will be implemented on April 17th. The only thing I'm unhappy with is that change right there with Serena's wings. Keep them visible. It's what's unique about the character. I always want to see her wings there, but that's just me. All right. Anyway, the main thing here is the Ines nerf. How bad is it? Okay, it's not going to affect your normal farming. Sigma sector, 400%, all totally fine. All right, I'll happily demonstrate it on stream if you have to. But Void Erosion Purge is going to suffer. So we're going to figure out an alternative for you guys. For those of you that were using Ines before to farm early stages of Void Erosion Purge, okay, sorry, you can't do that anymore. But you're going to have to move on, and we'll literally find something else. Okay, so that's what's going to have to happen. But that is how it works, and yeah, there's no other way around it. Okay, so please be keenly aware of that. We will find an alternative for you guys, so it's not that bad, but please do be aware that, yeah, it's going to take some time. Okay, it's going to take some time. So we'll try and adjust. We'll figure out where Ines stands, and then we'll go on from there and figure out a pathway for you guys. All right, so for now, thank you all very much for this. I hope you guys will enjoy stopping in for the Descendant testing. We're going to spend the next few streams doing that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't do anything weird while I'm gone, and I'll catch you all later.